Hey, this is Attorney Anderson. I did a video a few minutes ago about House Bill 360. I was merging it, and when I was merging it, hit the delete button. Sorry about that. I'm re-recording it just for content. So here we go. House Bill 360. It's going to change the way how we pick our candidates for high office: governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, the Senate, House of Representatives, and people for the General Assembly. Basically, here's how it works currently. Republicans vote for Republican candidates, Democrats vote for Democrat candidates in the primary elections, and then in the general election, the population votes for who they want to elect. The way that 360 is going to do that is going to turn that into what's called a jungle primary or an open primary, where anybody can get on the ballot. Let's just say the governor, for instance. Anybody can be on the ballot, and then the state entirely, the common state, will vote for who the top four are going to be. And then the top four are the ones that go to the general election. And then when the general election happens, if one person doesn't gather enough enough votes, then they vote again in a runoff, and it usually kind of whittles its way down to 3 or 2 until somebody can get the threshold number of votes to win. Here's the problem. There are, if let's just say 7 people or 8 people, okay, let's say 8 people were running for governor, and 4 of them were Republicans and 4 of them were Democrats, and this is the primary. The people who are in the heavy population centers like Northern Virginia could vote the top 4 into the general election, and all 4 of those could be Democrats. And so the reason that Democrats like this is because it gives their higher population centers control over the entire state, and it snuffs out Republicans. There are lots of places in California where when you go to your general election, you're voting for Democrats. It's either this Democrat or this Democrat. There's no Republican in the general election because that's how they do this. So House Bill 360 is very beneficial to Democrats. It is not beneficial in any way to Republicans. You got to remember, we have high populations of Democrats in Northern Virginia and high populations of Democrats clustered in Hampton Roads and in Richmond. And the way that we vote for our candidates is by party. And so Democrats that don't get to vote in the Republican primaries, and Republicans don't get to vote in the Democrat primaries. We get to pick those people amongst ourselves, and then they have to convince the state to vote for them. So this is going to take that out of the equation, and what we will likely see out of it is 4 Democrats running for governor, lieutenant governor, House of Delegates, House of Representatives. It'll all be Democrats mostly, because the population centers will get to pick who they want in the top 4. Now, for more of the local races, like your House of Delegates races and the House of Representative races, maybe you'll have more ability to control that because that's more geographic to where you are. But for the statewide elections, which is the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, and the Senate, those are the races that would be heavily favored for Democrats. So House Bill 360 needs to go. There's no way to compromise on that. There's nothing we can do to change that. It just needs to be eliminated. The guy who did it is Sam Rousel, and he's from Roanoke. So he's the guy you want to write to and say you don't want that. You also want to write to your local delegates as well and say no to 360.